Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you my big Premier League prediction video. The new season starts today and I'm personally so excited for it to start. I think the league is just brimming with talent right now, the best quality in Europe, and I do believe the title race will be tighter than ever, which of course makes it all the more entertaining. So today I'm going to be predicting which club will win the title, top 6, my relegation prediction, and some individual awards as well. Once again, this video is brought to you by Kitbag, so do check out the link below to shop all their new season kits. I've also left a discount code below as well. Subscribe to my channel for more Premier League content, and let's get into the prediction. Okay, let's start with the champions. I think Man City will retain the title. I just expect them to repeat last season's success, and they've obviously made one marquee signing in Jack Grealish. They could still potentially get Harry Kane as well. For me, that just makes them clear favourites. Although I think they will win it again, I don't expect it to be as easy actually for them. More teams around them will put on more pressure and the race will be tighter, I think, compared to last season when they just remained consistently miles ahead of the rest. I feel the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea and Man United, they've all really improved and they'll just put greater pressure on them. Despite this, I do think City still have the best depth and this will allow them to nick it for sure. Right, let's move on to second place. I think it will be Chelsea. Okay, in this transfer window, Chelsea haven't bought that heavy, I admit, but if I were a Chelsea fan, I would be pretty alright with it, considering the only star they have bought to improve their team was, of course, a new striker in the form of Romelu Lukaku for 115 million euros. If I had one criticism of Chelsea last season with Tuchel, I guess it would be, they lacked goals and Werner wasn't quite the finisher they thought he was, or perhaps they had anticipated him to be. But now they've definitely got a proper striker. Lukaku, he's just world class. I spoke about this signing in depth on my transfer update video, so do go and check it out if you're interested in all the Premier League transfer activity. Anyway, so I think Lukaku's price tag will be justified, especially because Chelsea were in the market for an elite striker. And Lukaku was one of the easier ones to obtain. Other than the fault of lacking goals, I think Chelsea were pretty faultless last season. But I think their problem is their squad depth. I think it's just a tad too light and one or two injuries to key players and they could fall apart. That being said, I think they'll still do enough to earn a second or third place finish. So let's move on to third place. I think it will be Manchester United. Yeah, let's talk about this. So Man United have gone really big this summer. The Glazers have finally put their hands in their pockets and they've paid really big money for some elite players. I think the acquisition of Jadon Sancho and Raphael Varane, it really puts out a statement to the whole league saying, we are not here to mess about. And I really feel United fans haven't been this excited for signings since probably 2016 when Paul Pogba arrived. And their starting 11 now competes with the best in Europe. But I do think their problem will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and their consistency. In my opinion, I'm not entirely convinced that Ole is a league manager. I do think he's more of a cup manager, and I feel in ways he's more suited to a sort of knockout competition, not a league season over 38 games. I think Man United will still challenge, but I do feel there will be a period where they do just lose a bit of form and ultimately this will cost them. But having said that, I do expect them to secure at least third or fourth place. Right, fourth place, I'm going for Liverpool. I do think they've gone very minimal this transfer window and I believe they've only added Ibrahima Konate to their squad. Klopp actually came out this week and he said that you can't buy our togetherness and that you can't buy Anfield. And I think he does have a point. I mean, Liverpool this season will have a fully fit Virgil van Dijk back, which is almost like a new signing in itself. And a big help for them is the fact that fans will be back. A packed out Anfield will drive the team on, but I don't think it'll be enough to reclaim the title. That's why I'm placing them fourth. So 5th place, I'm going to go for Leicester. I think they've had a really decent transfer window. Patson Daka from Salzburg for £23 million, Boubakary Samare from Lille for £17 million. Yannick Vestergaard has apparently been agreed today, not entirely sure on the fee, and also Ryan Bertrand on a free, he'll be coming in, both of them from Southampton. So they've really reinforced their squad, and I think they just missed out on top 4 last season due to that final game. Unfortunately, I do think they'll have the same fate this season. The other teams around them have just strengthened so much that I do feel it'll be unlikely they'll get ahead of Chelsea or Liverpool or Man United and of course Man City. But you know, if they do manage to do it, it will be a really commendable achievement by Rodgers and the whole team. Okay, 6th place this Premier League season, I predict, is going to Tottenham. I think they've quietly had a good window and they've gone about their business very well actually. Pierluigi Golini on loan, he's a very good backup or even starter for Lloris this season. Christian Romero came in for £50 million, he was very much needed and undoubtedly improves their defence. Another bit of smart business was Brian Gill, you know, a really young, pacey, quick-footed Spaniard. They signed him from Sevilla for around £21 million. I feel like their window has gone under the radar somewhat due to all that speculation surrounding Harry Kane every single day. And of course it's a given that, you know, if Spurs want a chance at top 4, they'll need to keep Harry Kane. I think they're capable of securing 5th or 6th place without him. They still have some very good players, you know, the likes of Heung-min Son, Ndombele, Højbjerg, Reguilon. All of them make for an okay team and I think they'll secure a Europa League spot. Right, now for some relegation talk. First up, I'm not sure Norwich will survive, just putting it out there. I think losing a player like Emi Buendia, yes, when the money comes for him, you sell him, but when that someone is so influential on your creativity, he's leaving a huge void and I don't think they've plugged that gap. Billy Gilmore, he'll definitely help, but he's deeper than Buendia. Then we have Todd Cantwell, he's good, but he'll only get better. But where will Norwich really rely on goals? There's obviously Pukki, he's their only scoring threat really, and to avoid the same fate as last time round, I did read that Pukki will have to score more than the 11 goals that he got in his first season in the Premier League. So I'm just questioning, you know, can he sustain that level of consistency all throughout the season? And I'm not sure he can. Josh Sargent and then Milo Rashica, they aren't Premier League proven, so they'll have to play pretty ruthlessly to save the Canaries from another violent relegation back to the Championship. Right, the second team I see getting relegated this season is quite a rogue choice, but hear me out. I'm actually going to go for Southampton. I think they concede a lot of goals and then selling Vestergaard, it certainly won't help with that problem. Obviously they've got rid of Ings as well, they've replaced him with Adam Armstrong from Blackburn. It puts massive pressure on him to just carry the load that Ings was carrying. And also the Saints squad is very live. Valentino Livramento, he's an interesting signing from Chelsea's under-23s, but I just don't know how much he'll help them and if he can make that much of an impact. The main issue is how shallow I feel their squad is and the fact that they get so many injuries each season for some reason. I think this will be their downfall and they'll go down unfortunately. Of course, I could be totally wrong here, but I'm just going with my gut. So the final team is always the hardest to choose. I mean, there's 3 candidates here and I'd say these 3 are definitely at the biggest risk of relegation. Brentford, Crystal Palace and Watford for me. It's very, very close in my opinion, but my gut feeling is telling me Watford. I think they were very solid defensively last year in the Championship. I think they kept 23 clean sheets. But sometimes they did struggle for goals, and that is my worry with them. Sarr was their top scorer last year, and at a push, I can see him reach 15 goals, but you know, realistically, I'd say he'll get about 10. And I know it's pre-season, you have to take it with a pinch of salt, but they did play Crystal Palace in a friendly, and they lost 3-1. It didn't fill me with the most confidence. So for that reason as well, I'm going to pick Watford as a relegation candidate. Okay, now let's take a look at the individual awards. So I'm going to try and predict who's going to win the Golden Boot, Golden Glove, be the top assister and the Young Player of the Year. So let's start with the Golden Boot and I'm going to back Romelu Lukaku to win it. It's his first season back in the Premier League after a while. He's been on fire with Inter Milan ever since joining, and he even broke some of Cristiano Ronaldo's records whilst playing there, which really shows how reliable he's been. He's joining a Chelsea team which is crying out for a finisher, as they do create quite a few chances, and that's just what they've got in Lukaku. I think it's going to be close between Lukaku and Harry Kane, of course, but I do feel Kane will perhaps get an injury, and that's when Lukaku will just step up and go in front. So for the Golden Glove, I'm going to predict that it will go to Alisson Becker. I think last season wasn't his best season. He was quite shaky and he made quite a few catastrophic errors, but this season I expect him to be a bit more himself, especially with his full defence in front of him. The reintroduction of Virgil van Dijk back in the starting 11 should really help Alisson keep some more clean sheets, and I think he'll beat Edison with the Golden Glove. Okay, I think the top assister will be Bruno Fernandes. Now, this one won't be going to Kevin De Bruyne this year, in my opinion. I think there's no striker brought in before the start of season. I can't see De Bruyne dropping another 15 plus assists this season. I can see Bruno doing it though. Fernandes has the likes of Cavani, Rashford, Greenwood, Martial, Sancho, all these players around him who can finish and score goals, and Bruno is heavily involved in the creative side of United, so I do expect him to be heavily involved in the goals. Just like he was last season, really. I predict the young player of the season to be Mason Greenwood. I think it's Greenwood's time to shine once again. I expect him to have a stellar season, and then of course with the arrival of Sancho, it means that he can play in his natural position as a striker, and with all the creativity like I just mentioned earlier, add in Greenwood's two-footedness. It's a dangerous combo, and it's one that's bound to produce goals, which will, in my opinion, make him the best youngster in the Premier League. Well, there's my big prediction. Of course, this could all be wrong, but I'm just going with what my gut is telling me. What do you guys reckon? Comment below with all of your predictions as well, and let's have a chat about it. Thank you so much for watching. Do check out kitbag.com in the link below to shop all their new season kits. I've also left a discount code below as well. Subscribe for more Premier League content, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye.